Chaparro, live from the tower. So, artists, I want you to, regardless what your art is, whether it's music, whether it's graphic design, whether it's whatever it may be, I want you to never, never, ever, 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 ever do what you don't do. Never do what you don't do. It's never worth it for you. All right. Now, you know, we can Jay-Z it up every once in a while. When they ain't have enough cheese, I would work with them. Right? We could Jay-Z it up. We can give them a Jay-Z bar. And really, the reality is, everybody that got work from me, it's safe to say that none of them could really afford what I do. And I'm not saying that in like a arrogant way. I'm just saying it in a realistic, what the industry standard pricing for this is. Matter of fact, here, let's take a look real quick where I got that at. Where I got that at. Give me a second. Because, like I was outside busting it up. Here, let me show you this real quick. See, I was outside busting it up, and I got called because I be doing a little bit of everything. Like I said, y'all know I like to be in the spot. I like to be in my spot. I can touch the whole world from here, but every now and then, I like to go outside just to show face, meet the people, put some business cards in the street, which I wouldn't really call these business cards. They the floppy ones. I call this just like a promo, just a promo. They're a little cheaper, and I'm just using it for promotion, just getting my name out there, get some business circulating. So some work circulating. I'm not even calling this stuff business. Let me get some art. Let me get some artwork. So I do that every once in a while. So I get a call while I'm out from some activity I was doing earlier, returning the call. Super great, right? But hold on a second. So what I want y'all to notice is where my joint at? Hold on. Let me get this. Let me get this straight here. All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm gonna say here somewhere. All right, let's put it in perspective. Because a lot of people, I know what they think, and they like, like I be joking about it with you earlier, like we were talking about the $150 logo, and to me, it's funny. Now, it's funny, not in the sense of like it's impossible, but it's funny. I think the very first logo I did, when I said I'm gonna start doing logos and focus on doing logos, the very first logo I did was $60. That was the offer. And of course they hemmed and hawed at the time, oh my God, $60. Like you spend more than that on a steak. You know what I mean? Like, people don't realize what they really be complaining about. You know what I'm saying? So it's quite fun. But let's take a look at this real quick, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this little story. I got the story for you, and it's gonna help you artists. No matter what art you are in, it's gonna help you. This video for you. All right. Somebody put in the chat, 4-minute mark. Pasha said, this video is for the artist and you. All right. So here's the realistic numbers of what, when we're talking logo design on a brand refresh, this is what we really should be talking about here. Okay. So when people say Pasha don't be looking out, let me show you how much Pasha really be looking out. Because I know you hear me say, oh, right now I'm running 2,500 to 3,000. That's because you don't know I'm really working my way up to the $10,000 to $20,000 range. And I'm taking you all with me by giving you $1 million design for the budget you can afford. And I appreciate those who really appreciate that, because they don't really have the dumb shit, right? They might need a payment plan. We work it out. We make it work. because I want to build sustainable communities. But at the same time, I have to be true to myself and realize I helped too many people without making sure I took care of myself. And I ain't blaming nobody. That's something I did to me. My focus was my addiction at the time, right? Based on the video we was doing earlier to show you how true I am. My addiction at the time was simply on doing great work, the art projects. I had a full-time job. I had whatever. I was good. If I was smarter in that area at the moment, again, just because I'm genius at certain areas don't mean that I know everything all the time. So if I was smarter at that moment in the area, I would have been charging much more at the time. So you live and you learn. So what I learned later on in life is, damn, because I looked out for all these people who absolutely didn't look out at all. I mean, not even with a reference of saying, hey, look, he can help build the whole community up, not just me. They were selfish, like we talked about earlier today. I didn't get to help any more of y'all. When life, matter of fact, here, let me do this. When life was right and I had positioned myself where the monetary issue wasn't a concern because I had this on my mind, in my mind, and I really wasn't concerned about taxing full price, which I'm still not. But I mean, even then, more so. If those people had put you on to me then we would have got a lot more work done in the community, and we all wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now, no matter where you think you at. It would have been so much better. But I worked with the wrong people. I helped them out, and the flow of energy from the Most High stopped there because of their selfishness. I learned that. So I had to evolve into a different presence to be the best that I can be for the community so it can be the best. And now that means that there's more money got to circulate. There's more currency involved, right? Which is a good thing, I guess, because the more currency that circulates, the more value it brings. It's when there's no currency circulating that the value go down. It's not really money, it's currency. All right. So I guess there's no fault to them because they're helping us raise the value of the currency because of their selfishness. And you just don't have a brand yet, and your business is suffering because they didn't tell you about me. That's all. That's why we're working to get this awareness out here. So let's take a look at this, right? Don't blame them because, somehow or other we could have met, but just know that they could have made it a lot sooner. So when you look at this, any business right now making less than $500,000 a year can easily and should easily invest $20,000 to $85,000 on a brand refresh. So if you have a logo and you say, hey, Pasha, can you make me a new one? Or we agree that you need a new one, or you want a new one, whatever the case is, if you have a logo and you want a new one, you should be considering sitting down at the table knowing it's going to be $20,000 to $85,000. That's really what you should have on your mind. And I can say nobody's come to me in that position. I'm not blaming them, I'm not talking down about it. I mean, none of us, I wouldn't have been able to sit down for that position just for the logo, but I mean, some of us got that or had that, but you weren't sitting down to say, I'm going to spend it all on a logo, right? At one time. So, but in reality, this is the number, $20,000 to $85,000. So when you hear me say, I'm going to take care of you for $3,000, you got to know that's a hookup. Holla if you hear me. Right? Market research alone should be $2,000 to $10,000. Strategy development, right here. Strategy development should be $5,000 to $15,000 by itself. We ain't even pick up the pen yet to draw nothing. Professional services should be $5,000 to $20,000. The design work portion should be $2,000 to $10,000 by itself, which you see, if I'm talking $2,000 to $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000, I'm actually now entering into the low spectrum of that. Because it's people that'll tell you, yeah, I got a logo 4 years ago. It was $600 from Pasha. Yeah, and then that craziness took somehow 6 months or something stupid. I'm like, you wind up, no, I'm not doing no, never again. Right? It's a great project. But see, what happens is if it takes 6 months of dumb stuff back and forth in the middle, then now the 10 grand makes it, you walk away from them at the end of the day with a headache, but you still feel like you took care of yourself, because what did it cost you to be involved with anything for 6 months? Right? So great work. Just like, I like to work with people who flow. Boom, here we are. Boom, next step. Boom, 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 next step. Like when we got a bunch of hiccups and design and back and forth, missing, I'm like, right? So marketing collateral, 1 to 5,000. Your digital presence, here we go again. Creating all your digital stuff should be 2 to 10,000 by itself. Your employee alignment, making sure everybody got their version of what they need, 1 to 5,000. And then your advertising and communication, I call it the promo panels and stuff like that, $2 to $10,000. So when you're looking for a brand refresh, you should be considering $20 to $85,000. So when you hear me say 3, 5, 7, 9, you either okay with it or you at the wrong place, and that's fine. So got a call while I was outside, and it was dope. It was about a boat. It was about some boats. It was about some other things. And then in the conversation came up about some boats, and let's say client, without saying a name, thought they needed a logo. And I say thought because when you're doing business, you know, clients be talking to you when you want to do artwork. When you're doing your art, clients talk to you about things like if you building a car or something, you crafted a car for them, and they speak in their language, which may not be the actual language that they need to be speaking, but it's what they're looking at it as, right? So they were saying they want a logo, and I was like, cool. Logos are like $3 grand right now. That's what they're going for. What's you need? I'm not in your price range. I just needed two sales put up, a couple sales put up for a sailboat. Because I got a couple yacht clubs. Okay. What are you talking about though? I can send you a photo. So right there, what I had in my mind was, okay, cool. Based on our conversation, we talked a little bit more. And in my mind, being the critical solutions expert, I'm like, you don't need a logo, because the logo gonna come to psychology and then demographic study and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, I don't want all that. What? So when we look at this, and this will help you guys understand how to navigate a position like this, because I hear when I meet other graphic designers, this is the kind of stuff that they be talking about. How do you navigate? So I was like, oh, well, you know what? This is a great opportunity to show them how Pasha handles it, right? So look at this. And what it was they were saying they want a logo. But if you look at the photo up top, they said, let me go get a picture from a backyard, because I was like, I need to see what it looked like, whatever. And they sent me the photo. When they sent me the photo, I said, oh, because the way the photo is nice and framed and everything, I was like, you know what? In the discussion, the price is right, because you don't need a logo. What you need is what I want to call a silhouette conversion, because I can take that photo and I can immaculately massage it into a silhouette without telling you all the details, and I would have it nicely outlined and framed, proportionate, and everything. Probably take me about 4 hours, right? Add a little typeface for it. You done for what he wanted to do, because he doesn't have a yacht club as a business. He just has it for his family, right? And it's not being used professionally, and it's not trying to attract the audience or anything. He just basically wanted some stuff for family. Cool. So with that being said, I'm like, cool, 250, I knock it out, no worries. That's the ballpark you in. I'm gonna do a silhouette conversion. I'm gonna put some words under it. You'll be all set. Everything's going smooth. Then you get to the magic thing that I hear other people talk about sometimes. So he says, well, I won't pay the invoice in advance of the sample concepts. Now, for all of y'all out there who are doing this, to have these people feeling like they can ask for you to do the work before putting down any payment. And I'm not saying like you can work with people. The economy is all fucked up right now, right? So we know 48%, 49% of business owners, small business owners, are struggling to pay their rent. We know minimum wage is jacked up. We know what they call inflation is skyrocketing. So we know people are in bad positions, right? We don't necessarily have 14 boats when we consider ourselves in bad position, but we know a lot of people are in bad positions right now, or let's just say not so good, right? Now, the thing about it is, if you are one of the designers or artists that are allowing people to have you do work and then pay you after you've done it, I need you to not kill yourself, but reinvent yourself. Okay? Because what you need to do is at least get a deposit. And your deposit should at least cover you for, if you're doing physical artwork, it should at least cover anything and everything that you have to put into the project. So if that project dies, you at least break even. And the wise would add at least a little something extra for their time to get to a certain point until the next payment. Otherwise, you're causing a lot of problems for everybody. All right. So let's stop that, number one. And if you're your potential client, let's stop expecting people to do things without your investment, because you're not actually investing in us. You're investing in what you want. And if you want it to be crap, then you create a crap work environment. And what I mean by that is, if you want to have your designer stressed out, worrying if they're going to eat tonight, tomorrow, worrying if the lights are going to be on, if they're going to be able to get the good material instead of the cheap stuff, whatever it is they do, then you got to realize that you're putting them in a post-traumatic. Actually, I mean, they accepted it, right, through acquiescence, but you have to accept ownership of, you're creating a work condition that's causing them post-traumatic stress disorder. And they may or may not be in the mindset to be able to articulate it that way to themselves or what have you, but that's what you're doing. All right. So for the sake of our communities, don't go to nobody asking them to do something for you and tell them you ain't got nothing for them until you can see the work. We're going to stop that in our community now. Okay. Moving forward. So number two, with this particular case, he says you can stamp the proofs across the image so they cannot be used without payment. First of all, we done all saw TT and Ray Ray and Laura posting their images with with the proof on Facebook with the proof sign set up on it. Okay, so let's stop that right now, because we know, one, that you can do that, and two, it can be removed with the technology that's out today anyway, right? So none of that works. All right. Um, so no, my response to that was simply, and then he says, without paying, I'm sure you can understand this. There's so many scammers online. First of all, I'm not them. So my response was, we both know how the game works. And with the technology today, watermarks can be removed. And personally, I don't work with clients that I feel I need to put a watermark on their stuff, because I don't like it when I put all the work into it to make it the way I want it to be, and then I gotta feel like I gotta throw some bullshit over top of it to send it to them so they can see it. Because if I can't see what I made properly with the watermark on it, I know they can't see it and get the full exposure of what the created art vibe is supposed to be, because we just threw some labels all over top of it. I don't want to put watermarks on my stuff, so I don't want to work with people that I can't trust and I gotta feel like I need to put watermarks on. So I want my clients to get the full presence and glory of my art, not overlapping watermarks that interfere with it. And I'm like, come on, bro. We talking $250. Back in the day, that was merely lunch for me, you, and your wife at the melting pot on a Saturday. So let's not insult each other. We satisfy the invoice and protect me just like you would want to protect yourself. And the way the conversation ended was he gonna go a different direction with Upwork, which is like a Fiverr, which I guess is why I didn't have much success on Upwork, and I'm Upworking the continental North America right now and Europe. So artists, clients, this is how we're gonna help heal the community from your individual perspectives. If you're a client, stop coming with the bullshit. If you're an artist, stop accepting it, because at the end of the day, you're going to suffer from the post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. And I don't want to see you go through that. I want to see you do your great work. I want to see you continue building your brand, and I want to see you grow. And if you're not being fed what you need to eat, or if you're not being able to be put in a position where you can feed yourself, then you're not growing. And if you're not growing, that means you're not sustainable. And if you're not sustainable, then the community around you is not sustainable in that arena either. So the community has to take responsibility when you see stuff like this and call the shit out. Stop letting people brag about they did a logo for $170 because they didn't do a logo. They put some lines together and they called it, do you like it? That's not gonna last that customer long enough to be profitable. It's gonna hurt the business because you didn't do it right. It's like asking your little one to ride their little Fisher Price car, Hot Wheel Power Wheels with 3 wheels on it up a rocky incline. Like you knew it was bad before you sent them up the hill. All right? Let's take ownership for our shit. Pasha Pavo.